It isn't the most important thing in life, but for most of us, it's a really big deal. Welcome to Planet Work. We're here to help you get more freedom, money, and fun out of work because a better life begins with a better career. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Planet Work. My name's Cat Breet, and as the intro said, I am here to help you figure out how to have more fun and get more freedom and make more money at work. So, every time I have a guest on, we have a fantastic time, but we never get to all the questions. So once a month, once every couple of months, I like to just come on and do just me, ask me anything. And so that is the topic for today. I've been in the consulting and job search arena for 23 years. So I used to hire and sell consultants for about 12 years for global consulting firms. And I ran a search firm and I've been a consultant. And so with all of the above, I know where the bodies are buried. So, the truth of the matter is, as a recruiter full time, it really took me about 2 years to get my arms around exactly what the heck is happening on the hiring side of the desk. When it comes to promotions, I've been passed over for promotions. I've watched people who were outstanding be passed over. And I've just spent the last 23 years digging in and trying to get the answers and figure out who gets hired, who gets promoted, who makes more money, and why, so that I can help you figure out how to do it for yourself. So welcome to those of you that are joining us bright and early this morning. Nice to have you. What questions do you have for me? We cover all things career, consulting, freelance, gig economy, or just your tried and true job search. So whatever is on your mind, whatever you've been frustrated with or wondering about, I'm right here. Let's get those questions on the table. So welcome, everybody. Let's start grabbing some questions here. All right. So the first one I'm going to grab is about contracting. It's one of my favorite topics. The gig economy is here to stay. Again, I hired my first consultant in 1997. So I definitely know where those bodies are buried. So Jennifer's question for me is about contracting. She's brand new to it. She's on a 6-month contract job right now, she says, but I really want full-time. What's the best wording to use in an interview when I'm explaining why I took a 6-month contract if I really want a full-time job? And then, so she's got 2 questions for me. And then after I explain it, what do I do if I get a great offer in the next month or 2? Can I quit my project early, and how? Okay, so 2-part question. First of all, what can Jennifer say? She took a 6-month contract. She's working in the gig economy, but interviewing for full-time jobs. And she's worried about how to explain why she took a contract if what she really wants is a full-time. So she's afraid that the employer won't believe her that she really wants a full-time job. First of all, Jennifer, with just one 6-month contract, and it's your first time ever contracting, they're not going to be afraid that you have no commitment to full-time. You took the job that I'm assuming you probably were looking for full-time. You had a great project opportunity come along. It was the right kind of work, the right amount of money, and you snapped it up because a job is better than no job most of the time. And so don't apologize for it. Listen, when it comes to questions like this, when I first started hiring consultants a long time ago, companies were really skittish about hiring somebody as a full-timer if they'd been a consultant or a freelancer for more than a year. Those days are gone. In fact, in the new world of work, people are they're ebbing and flowing between full-time and freelance all the time. The trick to getting past that question and alleviating any concerns is to think ahead of time. Before that next person says to you, why'd you take a project if you want a full-time job? You have to be ready with an answer that is just short and sweet. And it can be as simple as that. You know what? I love being a full-time employee, but while I was looking for the right full-time job, this cool project landed in my lap and I figured, why not snap it up? Keep my skills sharp while I continue to hunt for full-time. And I'm really excited to be here talking to you about it. So that's piece 1. Don't apologize. You have nothing to apologize for. And to those of you that have been consulting, freelancing for the last few years, and you've changed your mind and you want to go back to full-time, you can do that too. Again, 10 seconds or less. Why the shift? What do you miss about being a full-timer? And why do you want to make that change? Short and sweet. If you draw it out, then they're going to start to get nervous. So short and sweet, to the point, focus then on what they're looking for and why you're excited about the job with them. So piece 2 of Jennifer's question is, what if I get a fabulous full-time job offer over here, but I still have a couple of months left on my contract? Can I quit early? And if so, how? Short answer, yes, of course you can. Companies cut people, cut jobs without really thinking about it. If their financial situation changes, they may have made a full-time commitment to you and you thought you were going to retire there. And then bam, they just lay you off without a lot of thought. So gone are the days when a company would agonize and try to hold on to people for months and months and months. So since those days are gone and companies are spitting people out with very little notice, by all means, you can quit early. However, it is your reputation on the line, and it is definitely up to you to think long and hard. Listen, I'm going to quit this project early. I'm not going to apologize for it. I have a fabulous full-time offer. I just can't resist. But here's what I'm going to do to make sure that I don't leave you in the lurch. So you've got to really think about, if you're leaving the assignment early, what can you do with 2 weeks notice to put your project plan together and transfer your job duties to somebody else on the team? The trick to quitting and leaving either a full-time job or a contract is to make sure that you do a transition plan and you're very clear in your communication about what works on your plate, what needs to get done, and if at all possible, training somebody else in to take over. If there's nobody else to do it, make sure everything's well documented, give 2 weeks notice, and that's that. And then you move on to your new exciting adventure. All right, so what other questions do you have for us? Barb has got a question. What do you do? Good morning, Barb. What do you do when you've taken another job and you realize it's not a good fit? Oh, Barb, that is similar to a question that I got just yesterday from Bob, who wants to avoid bad bosses. So you actually landed, maybe not with a bad boss, but you took a job. You tried to ask the right questions during the interviewing process, and you woke up and it's not a good fit. What do you do? A couple of things. First of all, by the way, I've been there. I woke up at a job. It was absolutely horrifying. I couldn't understand why I, who'd been a recruiter for years, how did I do that to myself? So first, step one, forgive yourself. Listen, you can ask terrific questions in the hiring process and still land in a bad fit. So just forgive yourself. Number two, say, all right, I'm awake. This is not a good fit. Why? And you need to get very specific and literally make a list of the reasons that you are unhappy and you do not want to stay. The reason you need to get clear on that is, first of all, if you are crystal clear on why it's not a good fit, you will be able to quit without a lot of bellyache, and you'll be able to do it clearly and professionally. Number two, when you're out looking for a better fit, you got to be crystal clear on why you're so unhappy right now so that you don't end up in another situation that's just as bad. So you've got to get clear on why you're unhappy so that you can quit without guilt. You can look for a better opportunity and be very clear on hunting for the right next opportunity. And number three, it will help you find the right words when you quit. Now, when you quit a bad fit job, unfortunately, you guys, it's really all about your reputation. And no matter how rotten your boss is, try to quit like a pro. Try to pull your thoughts together. Give them a reason why you're quitting that is pretty high level. Don't get in the weeds. Don't get into the emotions. Just say, you know what? When I interviewed with you, you told me this job was going to be boom, boom, boom. Turns out what you really need me to do is this, and that's just not a good fit. So think long and hard about, why are you so unhappy? Is it a change in between what they promised and what it is? If so, you can call that out. If it's really just a personality, bad boss thing, you're not going to gain a lot by saying, you're a jerk and I'm quitting because of you. That's just going to get ugly and hard. So just rise above, quit professionally, Go off to your great next adventure. Just make sure that you're clear on why you're moving. Pick the right next adventure. And yeah, so those are some tips there for you, which also brings me to, so Bob wants to know, similar question, how do you ask the right question before you jump in? So he said his last company was the worst management he's ever seen in 20 years of work. What's the best way to investigate the people and the company before I take a new job? I do not want to end up in a place like that again. I actually, in my Get Hired Faster course, which you can pick up online today, you can go grab it right away. It's 24/7 on demand. Get Hired Faster and Easier. I actually have a section in there, 11 questions to ask to uncover the company culture and management style before you take a job offer. Let me just give you a couple of the best questions to ask. So again, Bob wants to know what the people and the culture is like before he takes the job. Number one question to ask. So, you've been here 3 years. What do you really enjoy about working here? Now, you're asking a positive question, but that's going to start to loosen them up, and they're going to start to come out and talk about the things that they like. Then you can say, all right, so what's one thing that either you wish you could change about working here, or what was the hardest thing for you to adjust to when you came on as a new employee? And the way that you couch these questions is say, hey, I'm really interested in this opportunity. I can see myself in here. I would love to come in and get this work done for you. So I'm just curious, what do you enjoy working about here? What do you think are going to be some of the biggest challenges for me? If you hire me and I get started on this job, I want to get in and just knock your socks off and come out of the gate delivering real value fast for you. What do you think some of my biggest challenges will be? There are a lot of other questions you can ask. If, for example, you know that you are filling a position for somebody that quit or got fired, if they have shared with you why the position is open. In fact, you can just ask that question out of curiosity, why is this position open? And see what they say. And they might slip out something along the lines of, well, heck, we've had 4 people quit in 12 months. Oh, really? Why do you think that is? So why is the position open? What do you love about working here? What do you think some of my biggest challenges will be starting out? Tell me about your best employee. What do you like about that person? So if you ask, tell me about your top employee, you start to hear things about culture like, oh my gosh, I just love John. He works 60 hours a week. He skipped a vacation last month for me. Those are the kinds of things that you start to hear when you ask the question, tell me about your top employee. You start to understand what kind of an employee that they like. So they might say, oh, he's here early and he stays late. Oh, I don't know if I really want to work like that. They might say, the thing that I love about Tom is I do not have to worry about him. I don't have to tell him what to do. He just gets the job done and he comes to me when he has problems. If they tell you that, you're stepping into a culture where there's very little management, which might be great for you. That might be a problem. If you like getting daily direction and guidance from your supervisor, then you might be really unhappy there. So those are a couple of questions to ask. Good question, Bob. Bethany. Good morning, Bethany. Bethany wants to know, are job titles important, or can a resume land a career changer a new job? If a resume is enough, do we stick with a chronological or switch to skills based mostly on soft skills? All right, so I'm going to pop this question out and let's see if I can take it sort of piece by piece. Are job titles important? Yes, no, maybe. It depends. If you're interviewing I think your question is, because you're a career changer, does the job title on your resume matter? Well, if you're changing careers and you're trying to apply online and your resume has all of the job titles that you had in your previous career and it's not relevant to the job you're going for, it's a massive big deal. You're never going to get called for an interview. So if you are applying online, your resume is going to have the keywords and the language that matches what that company is asking for. I'm here to be honest with you guys at Planet Work, and I'm going to tell you, if you are changing careers, you're going to have to work extra hard to reshape your resume so that all of your transferable skills are on it in the language of your future career, your future client or boss. And that's on you. You're going to have to do all of the translation exercise. You're going to have to do a lot of research to figure out what are the job titles, what are the keywords they're looking for, then go back to your resume and probably rename a lot of the work that you were doing, because language is different in different industries and different careers. Now, you never want to lie, but for instance, you might have been in sales and your job title might have been relationship manager, but you're interviewing for sales in a completely new industry and they call people account executives. In your resume, you want to put the true title that you had, and then in parentheses, the more industry standard job title that your future client or future boss is going to be looking for. So that's piece one with the resume. Bethany, I'm also going to tell you, your LinkedIn profile is much more important than your resume. I know that sounds crazy, but I want you to think about it like this. LinkedIn is like the billboard on the highway, and there are hundreds of people a day, if not thousands, glancing at your billboard, your LinkedIn profile. Let's just call it 100 people a day glancing at your LinkedIn profile, either with their human eyes or when they're doing keyword searches. They are grazing and scanning your billboard, your LinkedIn profile, versus for every 100 people that look, or even 500 people that look at your LinkedIn profile or scan it, or it pops up on their list, only one person is going to actually ask you for your resume. So can you see why I say LinkedIn, mission critical, resume? You're going to have to tweak your resume anyway for different positions that you're going for. So Bethany, it's if you're talking about your resume and your LinkedIn profile, it's got to be keywords for that target job. Can you change careers right now? Absolutely. You're going to have a very hard time doing it by applying online if you don't have any relevant experience. If you have a lot of relevant experience, but none in that industry, your time is going to be much better spent networking. Which brings me to, so great questions. Keep them coming. Hey, Catherine, good morning. Catherine is an executive recruiter. She works nationally. Nice to see you, Catherine. Side note, common misperception. Oh, absolutely. So Catherine is talking about what I kicked off the show with, which is talking about contract positions versus full-time. And listen, when I was cold calling people 23 years ago saying, hey, you want to leave that super cushy, comfortable full-time job to become a consultant? It was a little bit risky back then, 23 years ago. Today, it's just not. And what Catherine is saying is that W-2, either hourly or full-time salaried jobs, are no more secure than freelancing and consulting. And I would even argue, because I've been launching consultants for so many years, and I've been one myself, had my own business for 15 years, I have more security because I have multiple clients. If you think about it as revenue streams, I've got money coming in a number of different channels. So if one client drops a project with us, or that one industry goes down, I've got other things to tap into and rev up that income engine really quickly. But if you're a full-time salaried employee, bam, that job can go away overnight. One paycheck, that's it, kaput. So thank you, Catherine, for sort of taking a big Sharpie and underlining that. Absolutely. And, contracts can be great. So back to what I was saying earlier, what I really want, if you are considering contract positions because your phone's ringing off the hook. In fact, I got a question from, somebody asked me about that. Oh yeah. Preeti. So Preeti sent me a note 2 days ago and she said, why are companies wanting to hire me as a contractor? I just want a full-time job, but a bunch of recruiters keep calling me for contract jobs. Why? She says, when I ask them why they aren't hiring full-time, nobody's giving me a really clear answer. That's kind of weird. As a recruiter, I always told people why the company preferred contract to full-time. So Preeti said, I literally don't understand why a company doesn't just want to hire me full time. I'm a marketing manager. So by the way, you guys, when you send me questions, the more specific you can be about what you do and what you want to do will really help me give you some better answers. So Preeti is a marketing manager. She wants a full-time job, but recruiters keep calling her about contract positions for marketing managers. Why? Well, in my online consulting course, How to Become a Highly Paid Consultant, I explain 12 reasons why companies will hire a contractor or a freelancer instead of a full-timer. Let me just give you the top 6 reasons. Okay, so first of all, the number one reason why companies use contract talent, agile workforce, is their needs are temporary. They know they don't need you 9 months from now. They just need you to come in short term. That's the biggest reason they need a flexible work staff. I want you to think about industries like gardening. Okay, so our home stores have huge garden sections right now, but in 2 or 3 months, they're not going to need as many people working in the garden section. So they hire flexible staff. So that's the biggest reason companies hire contractors, but it's not the only one. Sometimes they don't know what their long-term needs are going to be. They ultimately want to hire a full-time person, they think, but they're skittish about the economy. They're skittish about their business. Maybe they're looking at a merger and an acquisition, and they don't want to make any long-term commitments because they don't know what their long-term needs are. So it's close to their needs are temporary. They don't know what they're going to be long-term. A third reason, one of the biggest reasons that they bring in contractors, is they literally don't know how to do it on their own. What do you do when a pipe bursts at home and it's midnight? Do you try to figure out how to fix that pipe with water pouring down your house? Or do you call an expert to come in and fix it as quickly as possible? Very often companies are bringing in freelancers and contractors because there's nobody inside that knows how to do it. And it's probably short-term need. And they also will bring consultants in to do it and then train their full-time employees so that they can maintain a system. Classic example is software systems that get rolled out. They need consultants to come in and help them tweak it and implement it and train the staff and all of those things and test it. So temporary needs, they don't know what their long-term needs are. They don't know how to do it. Sometimes they just flat out don't have time. They know how, but they don't have time. Another reason number 5 that companies bring in contractors is they have an urgent need. Maybe the top person on their team just quit, walked out with all of their intellectual property on a certain tool or process, and they don't have time to go and hunt for a full-time employee. They need somebody immediately. They can hit their network. They can turn to online marketplaces. They can post it on LinkedIn. And if they're really in a dire situation, they can turn to a staffing or consulting firm who can give them somebody within 24 hours. So that urgent need. And then the 6th biggest reason why companies hire contractors is sometimes they do want to try before they buy. What? Yeah. So you will get calls and you will interview with companies who want to do a temp to perm, a 3 or 6 month temporary assignment. And if you like us and we like you, we might make you an offer to go full time. So that has been around for 20 plus years. I had tons of clients who would bring in consultants through me and then pay us a fee to flip them to full time once they figured out they both really enjoyed working together. So the try before you buy. Now, before you think that sounds really crass, guess what? They get to try you before they buy. You also get to try them out before you buy. So to those of you who are interviewing the company and you're not sure you really want to be there for the next 5 or 10 years, why not propose that you come in on a project basis, come in, solve one critical problem for them, get to know each other, and see if you're both interested in a full time. If you're an experienced, seasoned professional, you can absolutely offer that to a company that they try you out and you guys break the job down into sort of phase 1. All right, other questions. Let's see here. Good morning, Foster. Yeah, and he just underscored. So Foster is another wonderful national recruiter I've known for about 12 years. Hello, Foster. And he said very often those contracts turn into full-time. Absolutely. All right, so other questions. Let's see here. Good morning, George. So Kathy has a resume question. It's actually a resume and a LinkedIn question. She said, I am open to a lot of different jobs and my resume isn't for one specific type of job. How do I get noticed? She popped me this note the other day. Well, Kathy, so first of all, can you be open to a number of different jobs? Absolutely. Can you hit your network and tell people, I'll do anything? No. Here's why. Let's assume that you are looking for a new house. Okay. You need to buy a new house right now, but you need to buy a new house in the next 30 days. What that means is you can't afford to go walk through 100 houses. You need a new house soon. So you need to be specific up front about what your gotta haves are. Do you need and want 4 bedrooms, 2-car, 3-car garage? What is it that you need and what is it that you want? So you're going to set parameters around price, bottom, top. You're going to set parameters around gotta have 4 bedrooms. 3-car garage is nice, but it's not on the gotta have list. So this is how you shop for a house or a car if you need it fast. Well, if you want to get a new job or a new project as a consultant fast, you need to get specific. So Kathy, unfortunately, if you've got a generic resume that looks like you could do 5 different jobs, a couple of things are going to happen. Number one, if you apply online, you're never going to pop to the top of the list. If you have a general resume, the applicant tracking system, the computer is never going to select you and put you at the top of the list. That's piece one. Piece two, when you are talking to people and networking and telling them what you're looking for, again, in your head, you can have 3 jobs that you're going for, but when you're talking to a specific person, say to them, so, hey, I would love to tell you what I'm looking for, but what do you do? Tell me a little bit about what you do first. Figure out who you're talking to. And the more you know about your audience, the better you can decide which target job to share with them. So, Kathy, I know you're not going to like me for this, but it depends how fast you need a job. If you want a job soon, then you're going to have to push yourself to get specific and choose your number 1 target job, your number 2, your number 3. Again, my Get Hired Faster course will help you with every single piece of this, you guys. You can grab that at ourbez.com. Get specific, tweak your resume and your LinkedIn profile to grab that. Can you change careers? Yes. Can you go for multiple jobs? Yes. But it's got to be clear and evident to the people on the other side what you're looking for. All right, so we've got a career question here. What is the secret to moving up? It seems I only get interest for positions with the same titles on my resume. Okay, so the question is, how can you apply for jobs and move up, apply up? All right, so a couple of things here. First of all, if you are looking for work, anybody out here is looking for a job and you're applying for jobs online, you need to know that you have a 12% chance of getting hired by applying online. And then if you've got some challenges like you're applying up and your resume doesn't show demonstrated success in that higher level role, applying online is a waste of your time. But a beautiful use of your time is to get clear, like I said to Kathy, get clear about what job you're looking for, understand what is important to your next boss in terms of skills and experience. You've got to do that heavy lifting of translating your past skills and get clear yourself. Why are you qualified for that up-level job? Were you actually doing that level of work, but you didn't have the title or the pay, and you have demonstrated success working at that level? Great. Make sure your resume and your LinkedIn profile express that and that you're able to articulate that clearly and concisely. Once you tailor your resume and upscale it and up-level it, and you can do that by using your real job titles and telling the truth. But in your summary and in parentheses, you can talk about, I was really doing project management, even though my title was project coordinator. Once your language is clear, then you can go and apply online. But applying online, if most people have a 12% chance, when you're up leveling like that, it's just going to be really, really hard. Through networking, talk to people that are doing that work, that are in that industry, get personal introductions in. It's real old school, you guys, but it works. People get hired 55% faster when they're talking to real human beings. Hey, I'm looking for a job doing this. So just remember that. All right. So it's 8:30. We always run out of time. Sorry about that. Let's keep the conversation going on LinkedIn. Keep sharing your comments and your thoughts, and all of our pros this morning with us. Share your wisdom. And hey, this Thursday, you guys, John Younger is a Forbes Council member. He runs the Agile Talent Collaborative. He's coming on Thursday morning with me to talk about the freelance revolution, the new, gig economy. If you're new to it, it ain't new, but if you're new to it, you got a lot of blind spots that John and I are going to help you fill in and understand what you're getting into, and why, to Catherine's point earlier, why can freelancing and consulting be a fabulous way to make a living? Tune in with me on Thursday morning, and I look forward to talking to you. Thanks, everybody. Have a great rest of the day.